is up, guys? Welcome to another edition of Market Marauders, beating market one trade at a time. Welcome and thank you for joining the live stream. So, still a lot of things going on in the market. Overall, a lot of crazy moves, um, a lot of things in general that I think everybody should be aware of. So, I'm going to be going over that. Hope everybody's having a fantastic week. It's the beginning of the week, so it's just Tuesday. So, hope everybody's able to lock in some profits on this Tuesday. Hopefully, you're able to get some profits in on Monday. Just excited overall for all the moves that the market is going to be making this week. So, if you have any questions during the live stream, if it's your first time, make sure you add them down below in the chat section, or if not, you can add them on the Patreon page, either or. So let's jump into it. So I'm going to be going over the watch list from the previous days. So the one, this one, which is from the 11th, and then we have one for the 12th. So those are going to be the first ones that I'm going to be going over. The ones from the 11th as well as the ones from the 12th. So hopefully you all were able to get those watch lists. They are on the Patreon, so make sure you go check that out. We'll be posting one after the video today, so make sure you check that out. And without further ado, let's jump into it. So I'm going to do a recap on NEO. So NEO had their NEO day this week, or this weekend. Hope everybody was able to get that little chart of what NEO Day was about. Hopefully you all were able to execute on some of that movement from NEO. They moved up significantly after that. NEO Day came out, so hopefully you all were able to jump on that Monday morning and get some profits out of that. So, congrats if you were able to. They touched 66.99, but then after that, I've kind of gone sideways. They are still bullish though. Moving average 10 is above 50 and 100. But overall, still going sideways after that news. So, NEO Day was a very big day for the company. A lot of things going on. So if you weren't able to go look at that, I encourage everybody to go and look at that small article that I typed up about just a recap of NEO Day. Next, we have Tesla. Tesla was doing pretty well today. They touched $884.49. So that's their high for this week, it's their high since the 8th. They are still bullish. Moving average 10 is above 50 and 100. Lots of movement going on with this one, but overall still sideways movement from them. I think the next price target is like $1,200 that I think a lot of people are looking at. But I think, they're hitting a resistance around this 880 level. So if I see one day that they break this 880 level or this 884, then I could say, they potentially could move up, which could be even as soon as tomorrow. So I would say always, keep your eyes out on Tesla because the stock moves so fast. It can go up $100 in a day. In no time, it'll go up 50 during the beginning of trading, then after lunch go up 50 more with just, one press release or one tweet from Elon. So, make sure you keep them on your watch list at all times, just because of how volatile Tesla is in general. So they are still bullish. Moving average 10 above 50 and 100. VWAP is below moving average 10, so maybe some more sideways movement from them. But overall, still going to be looking at them in on a positive note. $2.55 above close, so that's always a good metric. So in on a positive note overall. Next is ticker sign PLUG for Plug Power. They are on a very nice bullish uptrend. We could see since the about the 6th, they've been on a bullish uptrend every day, just continue to go up and go up. I think this trend will continue to go well into the Biden presidency. So they are one of those energy stocks. Jim Cramer's talked about this stock a lot as well. I've been following this stock for forever. Seems like I have a lot of videos about it on my channel just in the past talking about it. I did have a whole section dedicated to Plug Power in the past and Fuel Cell way back in the day. But I've been following them closely for a while and all the things that they do. I think they're going to continue to grow, especially now that there's some light shine on the things that they do and this Biden candidacy coming up. So they touched 6607, so that's their high for the week, but they ended at 6602. But then after hours went up $4.44 to end at $70.46. So still pretty good value for this one. So hopefully you are able to jump in when it was down at this 53 metric, and just gonna be able to ride this all the way up until collect some profits on that. Pretty sure I had a call on this one on the watch list. So hopefully you are able to execute on that and lock in some profits. Next, we have ticker sign BA for Boeing. Now, Boeing's kind of been running sideways. In my opinion, I expect another dip from them. But Boeing has just been behaving, a little weird. I expect them to drop off, but they haven't really dropped off as fast as I thought they would, based on that crash. So they had a crash in Indonesia with one of their 737 planes. And this is right after the FAA or the DOJ, kind of was like, hey, pay this amount to all these people and to these airlines, and, we'll let the investigation go. So they basically just had to write a giant check in order to get out of, lives being lost and all this other stuff that was going on. So they kind of got the easy way out, in my opinion. And then, like, the very next week, a 737 crashed in Indonesia. So, I think that investigation is going to be opened back up. They're still doing an investigation now, see what's going on. But overall, I don't think it's a really good look for the company. I expect this to, after it's going sideways, to continue to go down or stay at this 208 level that it's currently at. So they are bearish. Moving average 10 is below 50 at 100. VWAP is above moving average 10, but I don't expect it to be that for too long. Next is Twitter, which I had to put on as well. Twitter fell off after they announced that they were blocking Donald Trump, which to me seemed to be, not want to get into politics of it, but it just seemed like a very drastic move from Twitter to do that, because for them it kind of put them in a political side. I think, in my opinion, companies should remain neutral. So, you're an organization, you really shouldn't get politics involved in organizations, but the lines between politics and personal are very blurred now with the age of social media and big tech, and there's too many things involved at the current moment to not make it political. So I think they kind of made it clear what side that they're on, especially after the Capitol crusade, I guess you can call it, the Capitol crusade. So definitely hurt their stock significantly. I know a lot of Trump supporters, have stock, or a lot of people who supported Trump, are involved in the market. So that may have been one of the reasons why. But it seems like a lot of other big tech companies are following suit. Facebook did the same thing. So let's talk about Facebook on here. Mark Zuckerberg, if I'm saying his name correctly. He went out and released a statement and said that they were going to block Trump as well, and all of the posts that talked about the Capitol situation. And I think he said we're going to block every single statement that said stop the steal. So they're going pretty in depth on this whole situation. So the social media giants, I guess, have spoken. Showed what side they're on, and a lot of other companies have kind of followed suit. You have Amazon as well, which has kind of blocked Parler, which was kind of like, I guess, the clubhouse for a lot of Trump supporters. So it was kind of the alternative for Twitter, was Parler, and they were using Amazon servers, and Amazon kind of pulled the plug on it. It was like, hey, we don't support this, and you guys are, going against the company policy. So that got stopped really quick. So there's a lot of different moves being made. It seems like a lot of big companies are making a lot of moves to show their I guess, loyalty to one political party or another, and there are other companies who are kind of, remaining neutral, that are like, we're going to stop funding to a certain party. We're just going to stay completely out of this and not get into the politics. So there's some companies who are like getting deeply invested into the politics of, the U.S. government and all that stuff that's going on, and there are other companies that are like staying completely out of it. So I would say just keep a close eye on all the different moves that are being made, because it's definitely going to shape the market, and it's going to definitely shape the stocks and how they perform in the future. So next on here we have tickers on JPM for JP Morgan. I think JP Morgan's going to continue their bullish run up. They have earnings coming up, so I think they're going to rally, getting closer to the earnings. I think their earnings is going to be I think it's going to do really good. So definitely expecting some positive metrics coming from their earnings. Sometimes, it may be safer to play it getting closer to earnings and then just sell off right before earnings and just take advantage of that rally. I've done that before sometimes. I've just gone and take advantage of a stock getting closer to earnings and that rally coming out, and then, going to take profits. Then, there's nothing wrong with that. Or you can, try to ride it out, but you don't really know which way the market's going to lean after, the earnings come out. Sometimes I've seen that stocks have really good earnings, but it's better than people expect it, and the stocks still go down. And then sometimes I've seen where companies have terrible earnings and the stock go up. So, it's a mixed market out there. For me, I'm not a trader that really knows the future, so I never claim to know how a stock will perform. But I do know that if I'm currently bullish, or I'm, getting profits before the earnings, that if I take profits there, I will still end on a positive note, no matter how the stock performs after the earnings. So I may miss out on some more profits if the stock jumps up after earnings, but I then also may be saving myself from a potential downfall if the stock goes down and I am bullish on the position. So JP Morgan had touched 141.65. They ended the day at 140.22. After hours, went up 24 more cents to end at 140.46. So overall, still very high metrics. Bullish indicator hit. The moving average 10 is above 50 and 100. So we'll definitely keep an eye out on them, especially getting closer to earnings. Next, we have Ride, which is Lordstown Motors. They shot up based on the article that came out that said that they reached all-time high as far as orders were concerned for their new electric truck. So as far as electric trucks that are on the market, there are only two that I know of. It's the one from Lordstown Motor, and it's the Cybertruck. There were going to be three, and the third being the Badger by Nikola, but Nikola kind of fell apart. So I don't think there are going to be any more out there, on the market as far as trucks are concerned. Now, you can consider, the Hummer as a truck, but I don't really consider it as a truck. So, I mean, you could say three if you consider the Hummer, but I don't consider the Hummer in that category as far as traditional, style trucks are concerned. So you could say either two or three electric trucks are going to be out there. Anyway, they ended the day at 25.45. Then after hours went at 44 more cents and at 25.89. I still think there's a little more growth left from this company. I think they have a fantastic future from a long-term perspective, as well as from being an innovative company with their technology that they have. So going to the next one, we have ticker sign GAGX. So we're going to get into some of the penny stocks. They touched $4.47. They have crossed this threshold right here, so they are bearish. They're about moving average 10 line, being above 50 and 100. So, being below the 50, but above the 100. So we can see right here that the moving average 10 is below this moving average 50 level. So I would say it is bearish. VWAP is also down as well. So I would say, yeah, definitely. Just keep an eye out on this one. It may be run out of steam. After hours, it went up 17 cents to end at 3.55 for the day. But I'm definitely going to have to see a VWAP spike on this one or to jump back into this one. Next, we have ticker sign IDEX for Ideanomics Incorporated. They did touch 389, so that was their high. And then since then, they've kind of gone down. They have crossed the moving average 50. So moving average 10 is below moving average 50. VWAP is low as well. So I will keep an eye out on them, but not really expecting too much from them as far as movement upward. Next, we have ticker sign LMFA for LM Funding. They touched $3.70 and have just fallen off ever since that level. They've kind of ran sideways since then, though, remaining around this $2 180 level. So that's kind of the level they've stayed at from this 370 fall off. So we can see that moving average 10 is still above 50 and 100. So it is still considered a bullish trend, but VWAP to me has to go back up in order for this to become bullish yet again. Next one on here is ticker sign DFFN, and that is for Diffusion Pharmaceuticals. They touched $1.45, so that was their high, and they've kind of fallen off since then. They ended the day at $1.11. After hours went up 6 more cents to end at $1.17. Not really too much moving this one. It was kind of shot up and then shot back down. Going to be looking to see, both my metrics are positive though. VWAP is above the moving average 10, and the moving average 10 is above 50 and 100. So overall positive metric for both of those. So going to be looking to see how that performs, especially since it ended on a positive note. Going to keep an eye out on them to see if there's any movement from them as we move forward throughout the week. Next on the list, we have ticker sign TTOO for T2 Biosystems. They touched $2.22 this week. They ended the day at $1.90, and then after hours went 7 cents down to end at $1.83. So VWAP is still above moving average 10 on this one and still looks significantly high, which to me is a good metric. Moving average 10 is above 50 and 100, so that's a good metric as well. Going to be keeping my eye out on them since, especially since what they were doing was testing for the pandemic. So I think that's always an area or a niche that's needed. So considering the research that they were doing and the products that they were trying to put out for, getting that testing out, and they say that their test can detect the new strain of the pandemic that is out. I think that's going to be positive news for them, and looking for more updates. So definitely keep your eye out on this one because I think they're, one press release away, in my opinion, for going back up to touch this 222 level. Next, we have ticker sign GEVO, which is on a bullish uptrend, seem to be bullish for the second day in a row. So hopefully you all were able to jump in on this one and execute. We'd see that they ended the day at $6.06. After hours went up 39 more cents to end at $6.45. So this was on the watch list as well. I think it was on Monday's watch list or Sunday's watch list. It was on one of the two. A little bit to end at 606, but what I like to see is that on here, metric wise, they did touch this 45 cent. They did go up 39 cents to touch 645. So 645 is above this 113 that they had. So overall, I think it's pretty positive for them. I'm definitely interested to see how they perform tomorrow, especially with this big movement after hours. Next, we have ticker sign MOSY. They did touch $3.29, and then we see they ended today at $3.08, and after hours went up to $3.15. So overall, positive metric for them. They are bullish, moving average 10 above 50 and 100. VWAP is below moving average 10, but still we'll keep our eyes out on them to see how they perform. They are in the semiconductor space, which I believe is still a red-hot market. You have companies like NVIDIA, AMD, Intel, even Apple, and Taiwanese Semiconductor. All those companies that are in that space. I think semiconductors are in high demand at the moment, so I think a company like this will continue to go up. So next on the list, starting the new list for today, we have ticker sign ZM for Zoom. So Zoom is part of the stay-at-home play But if we see today, they shot up significantly. They went from around this $3.37 metric all the way up to 358.89. So they ended the day at 356.81, and then after hours went up $1.19 to end at 358 even. So only 89 cents from the day high for today. We can see VWAP is significantly high. It's above moving average 10, so that's a good metric. But they are still need to cross this threshold right here. So I would say bullish on one, but not bullish on the other. This uptrend definitely is good. Gonna look in the morning to see if this moving average 10 can cross this moving average 100 line at 347.53. And then I'll say, that's confirmation that is on a bullish uptrend. So definitely keep my eyes out for Zoom for tomorrow. Next, we have Uber. So Uber has, started its bullish run up. So we can see it crossed on the 8th the threshold of the moving average 50. And then it started to go up even more. 59.39 is where it touched. And then it ended the day at 58.54. After hours went up to 58.64, so a 10-cent increase from its close, but still not touching this 58.39 level. So that's going to be the resistance that I'm going to be looking for to see if it can break through for tomorrow. It is bullish, moving average 10 above 50 and 100, but VWAP is still under the moving average 10. So going to be looking to see that VWAP cross that moving average 10 for a positive confirmation that it will be bullish. Next, we have ticker sign QS for QuantumScape. Now, this stock moves like crazy. Very speculative play, so I would say be cautious with this one. Spec play in the sense that they have a product that's, research-wise is very groundbreaking, but it's not an actual product yet. So definitely a spec play. A lot of people day trade this one. They ended at 56.56 today, and then after hours went up 79 cents, did at 57.35. I was just looking at the volatility of this one because it moved so much. So definitely keep your eyes out on them, but I would not be quick to jump into this one. Next, we have ticker sign GM, which hit 52-week highs today. It touched 48.95. So definitely keep your eyes out for this one tomorrow. They had Cadillac released some type of flying car. That was I thought it was a pretty interesting article when I read that. But then also they had trying to target FedEx for using their electric vehicles. So they're trying to roll out electric vehicles and be the electric vehicle leader. GM got a lot of information, I think, in my opinion, from Nikola. So they were involved with Nikola way back when. They were going to do a deal with Nikola, get 11% stake, but that deal kind of fell through. But I do think that they see, in order to remain competitive in the market, with companies like Ford making their I think it's Mach-E or E-Mach Mustang electric, and then having other electric vehicles out there like the whole Tesla line. You got Porsche with their Taycan Turbo S. So a lot of companies are making electric vehicles out there. NIO with their electric vehicles, but that's mainly in China. So for the U.S., you have really just Ford, Nissan, which still has its Leaf, and some other vehicles that are out there. I can't remember all of them off the top of my head, but in order to remain competitive, you kind of have to jump into this EV space. So definitely going to be looking for some more updates from GM on if they can jump into the delivery fleet service line. I think that'll be very interesting. Another company that I actually don't have on the list that is trying to jump into that space is Workhorse. Workhorse is definitely, makes EV delivery trucks, and has been one of those companies that has kind of been in the shadows, in my opinion. So I would definitely look at them if you're trying to jump into the EV space for the delivery niche. So it's kind of a sub-niche of EVs, but still EVs in general. So definitely keep your eyes out on GM for tomorrow. They ended at 47.82. Then after hours went up to 49.52. So ended above the day high. So I expect them to have some more movement tomorrow. Next, we have AMD. AMD went up to 99.23. Then after hours, then towards the end of the day, kind of went down. After that, we could see they crossed this moving average 50 line. VWAP is still above moving average 10, so that's a positive metric in my opinion. But as far as this moving average 10 crossing this moving average 50, that is a negative indicator for me. So they ended at 95.36. After hours went up 7 more cents to end at 95.42. So going to have to look for some more momentum for this one tomorrow. So we'll see if it can push back through this moving average 50 line. Next, we have ticker sign CPSH, which kind of rocketed up today. Started today at around $3.14, shot all the way up to $7.06, $7.60, and then went down to $6.84 where it ended the day. But then we can see after hours went up 33 more cents and at $7.17. So definitely going to be looking at this one to see what was going on with it since it had so much of a movement today. They are bullish. Moving average 10, which you can barely see right here, is above 50 and 100. And VWAP is just ridiculously high at this point. So definitely going to be looking at them tomorrow to see how they perform. Next, we have ticker sign APWC with almost an exact similar copy pattern from CPSH. We can see APWC shot up as well, went all the way to $4.83. They ended the day at $4.80 even, and then after hours went down to $3.55. So if I had to choose between CPSH or APWC, I would definitely choose the CPSH because it ended very close to the high, and this one seems to just continue to be going down. So both of them I'll definitely keep my eyes out on for tomorrow. Next, we have ticker sign BIOL for BioLast. I've covered this one before. I don't think on here, but I know on my channel I've covered it. They touched $1.15 today. Then they ended the day at $1.04. But the important metric that I want you all to look at is that they went up 22 cents after hours to end at 126, which is above their metric for their day high today. So overall bullish. Moving average 10 is above 50 and 100. VWAP is barely below moving average 10, but definitely keep an eye out on them for tomorrow and see how they move. I think they're going to have a breakout, uptrend tomorrow. Potentially could see levels around $2 in my opinion, but definitely keep your eyes out on them. Volume, because volume was significantly high as well. And they ended 22 cents above, or 22 cents after hours. Next on the list, we have ticker sign ACRX. So ACRX on a bullish uptrend as well. We can see they started off around $1.40, so $1.41 or $1.40, and then let's see, they shot up all the way to $2.20. And then we see they ended at $2.18. After hours, they went up 7 more cents to end at $2.25, which I think is an important level because it is above this $2.20 level. So I'm going to be looking at them tomorrow to see how much they increase and how far they go up for tomorrow. So definitely keep my eyes out on this ACRX. Next, we have ticker sign LJPC. Now, they shot up to $6.17, but kind of went sideways after that. Ended the day at 5.04, and then after hours went up 11 more cents then at 5.15. VWAP is still above moving average 10 and moving average 10, and the moving average 10 is above 50 and 100. But overall, still kind of stagnant on them. Going to be looking to see how this performs tomorrow. If I see volume, begin to increase significantly on this one, then I'll say, okay, I may possibly jump in this one. But I think BioLast may be the better pick between this one and that other one. Next on here, we have ticker sign BMRA for Biomerica. We see that they touched $7.78. They kind of went sideways after that. They ended the day at $6.54. After hours went up 5 more cents to end at $6.59, so not too bad of a metric for them, but the same, just like the other one, the PC. They've kind of gone sideways, after that level kind of came out. So I would keep my eyes on them, not looking for anything too dramatic. May potentially jump in this one for just a quick turnaround, maybe a 20, 30 cent increase, and then jump out. Some of those, you just want a quick little small profit and then just jump out, or just keep your eyes out on it and see how it goes. The first couple of minutes of trading are very telling on how a stock will perform. And there's one thing that I also have to say, you don't have to trade every single day. Trading every day, you may be hit with the PDT rule, which is the pattern day trading rule if you're using apps like Robinhood. I don't think they have PDT. Well, they probably do have PDT rule on Webull. I just haven't traded enough to know that I've been hit with the PDT rule. But just make sure you stay safe out there. Make sure you're making more informed decisions, doing some due diligence on some of these. Some of these are really risky plays, and just like little bits of profit on trades can add up over time. A little bit of losses in trades can add up over time. So just be cautious out there, everybody, when trading. Make sure you use good judgment. If you're just confused about if it's a good or bad trade, sit and think about it. Sometimes what I'll do is if I think it's a good trade, I'm like, oh, this stock's going to go up. If I put it, the number of shares into, I guess the thing where I'm about to buy, and I'll just sit there and look at it before I press the execute button. If it starts to go up, then I'm like, okay, yeah, maybe I'm making the right decision. If it immediately starts to go down, I'm like, maybe I should just wait to see what happens. So, there are different ways you can go look at, the stock to see how it's going to perform. But just be cautious out there, especially if you're a retail trader. It's your money. You want to be able to preserve capital and use risk management. Risk management is the best way you can use to build your account. There are different strategies out there for risk management. Just whatever way works for you to preserve capital, that's it. Many people have blown up their accounts. I know I've blown up many accounts, which basically means, gone to zero because, you tried to go all in on one trade. Those, I guess they call them YOLO trades, but those aren't really healthy for your account. You may be lucky on a couple of those, but you can't consistently be good on YOLOs. That definitely is not the best way to trade. The best way to trade, in my opinion, is slow and steady. So find a couple of plays, a week, and just be like, okay, I'm going to stick with these. I'm going to see how these perform. With the watch list on here, hopefully you could find at least one good stock to trade this week. That's the goal of the watch list daily because the market changes all the time. So, I want you all to be able to see, the movers that are out there. So, I'm not going to say that all of them will be, very good, but I know there are going to be a couple of winners within that. And, the things that definitely help are the catalysts. So the different things that are going on in the stock definitely help to move that stock as well. That's why I believe just reading candle patterns is really not enough. If you have catalysts for movement, that definitely helps a lot more than just reading the candle patterns. So now I'm off my soapbox. The next one is ticker sign ESTE for Earthstone. They did touch $6.50. Kind of went sideways after that. $6.59. So they kind of went sideways after that. We can see right here that they ended at $6.35. After hours, they went up 21 cents to end at $6.56. So there are 3-cent difference between their day high and where they ended today. So that's a really good metric. Going to be keeping my eye out on that one. Next, we have ticker sign ZOM for Zoomatica. Now, this was a penny stock not too long ago. I think the beginning of the week it was a penny stock. So, yeah, it was around 42 cents. They had an update, which is basically they had a CEO, I think, or somebody in management was added to help, promote this new medication, pet medication that they had coming out. And ever since then, the stock kind of has been going up. So I think it's a positive metric overall for them. They went up to 148 and then ended the day today at 130. After hours went down 4 cents to end at 126, so they may potentially be losing steam on this one. I would definitely keep an eye out on this one. I know volume though is still pretty high overall for this stock. A lot of people jumping in and out of this one, but overall, I would say just be cautious. If it looks like it's going to run up, then you might be able to take advantage of that, but just be cautious with that one. Next and last on the list, we have ticker sign BPCP. So they touched this $4.56 metric today, where they ran up. They ended the day at 4.55, and then after hours went down to 4.50. So overall, they touched 4.56. They touched 4.56. After hours, they went down 1 cent. And then after that, they went down 5 cents to end at 4.50 after hours. They are barely bullish. Moving average 10 line barely crossed the moving average 50 line, which is yellow line. So going to be keeping an eye on them to see if VWAP can continue to go up tomorrow. If VWAP goes up and moving average 10 goes up, then I say it may be a potential buy on this one. But at the current moment, until both those levels cross that threshold, definitely hold out on this one. So that's the list for this week. I hope everybody has a great week trading, and thank you all so much for tuning in. Definitely means a lot to me that I can help you all out there. Hope everybody is locking in some good trades. If you don't mind, if you're making profits, share it with the group. Let everybody know what worked for you all, what didn't. If you have stocks that you were investing in that went sideways or south and you lost money, just let everybody know as well. It definitely helps the channel grow so people know what were good and bad trades for this week. It'll definitely help me as well tailor the watch list to try to find some better picks out there. All right, so make sure you drop a comment on the Patreon. I'll be able to answer them as soon as I see them. Or drop a comment down below on this one, and I'll try to answer it as soon as possible. But good luck to everybody out there trading, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.